Jack Moore, CTV News. I wanted to wrap back around to affordability. One of the key industries here on Prince Edward Island in particular is our tourist industry, and particular to that, our car tourist industry, people traveling from our region to this island to be tourists, with policies like the carbon tax and the clean fuel standards, which are by design meant to reduce consumption of fuel and reduce. Are you worried that's going to have a chilling effect on one of the key industries here on Prince Edward Island?
So yeah, I'm very aware of that, and actually with a couple of my colleagues, we drove here last night from Halifax. We very much believe in PEI. We believe in the tourism industry, and we believe in the PEI economy overall. Today's announcement was about all of that. You know, you spoke about tourism, Jack. Many of the essential workers who are going to get support from the Canada Workers Benefit are people who work in the tourism industry. And this support is going to make it easier to attract and retain people to those jobs, and it's going to make it easier for the people doing those jobs to have a good life, which is what this is all about. I heard earlier today from Heath and Sean about the strength of the PEI economy, about what a good tourist season this is, and I'm really glad to hear it. It is so important for us as a country to have jobs and economic growth. A good job, I think, is the basis of a good life. That's why I spoke in my remarks about the jobs numbers, about the fact that we have 1 million more jobs now than we had before COVID hit. And I know that people here on the island are having a hard time making ends meet. I know groceries are expensive, gas is expensive, rent is expensive. Some really good news in the economy here on PEI and across the country is we have an incredibly strong jobs market. That is a really, really good thing. And that's something we really focused on when the COVID recession hit. Like, it was our principal target. We said we cannot allow jobs to be lost. We have to have a strong recovery. We can't allow the economy to be scarred. We can't allow people's lives to be wrecked by a long period of unemployment. So we did invest heavily during COVID. And I think we're seeing the results in the Canadian economy right now, which is an economy that has managed to more than bounce back from COVID when it comes to jobs. And you're seeing it here on PEI. So do I believe in the PEI economy? Absolutely. Do I believe in tourism as a driver of jobs and growth on PEI? Absolutely. The Canada Workers Benefit is part of that, and so is the support that we have provided to Canadians. And you know, you're getting that support here on PEI, but a lot of the Canadians who are coming to visit you right now are able to do that because we have kept the economy going. And you know, they have enough to spare that they can come here with their families and enjoy themselves on PEI, and in so doing make a contribution to the economy.
So I am.
You guys want to say anything?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Sean. Sorry, I have a little step there.
Jack, your question, as I understand it, is whether the price on pollution is going to have a negative effect on the PEI tourism industry. And my answer to you is that I believe in the innovators in this country, and so does our government, and that's why we've invested massively in electric vehicles, in batteries, in the clean fuel standard. The very purpose of that is to allow for transportation with less harm to the environment. I have every confidence that industry is going to respond positively. So I don't have any concern whatsoever, because I have so much faith in the innovators in this country who are being fueled by the investments that we are making. I mean, there are going to be no internal combustion engines in Canada in 2035. People are still going to come to PEI. You can be darn sure of that. And we, as public officials, and anyone in the sector, will do their damnedest to make sure that happens. I've got confidence in them, and I think it's rightly placed.
Well, thank you for that,
And
Sean.
I'm just, I'll add one more thing. Sorry, you're getting the world's longest answer to quite a simple question. But the other thing I want to say is, when we were elected in 2015, when we first formed government, we talked about how the economy and the environment were not at odds with each other. That as a country, we shouldn't see it as choose one or choose the other. That we had to have a plan that sought to maximize both. And I think right now we are seeing that commitment come true in Canada and around the world. What we are seeing right now is you can only have a strong economy if you are building a green economy. And the reason for that is the world's consumers, the people outside Canada who we depend on to buy the stuff we make, who we depend on to come visit our beautiful country, including this incredibly beautiful island, they are demanding that the world build a green economy. And so if PEI wants to keep on attracting tourists, if it wants to be a tourist destination, the best policy for PEI tourism is building a green Canadian economy, a green PEI economy. And I have to say, failure to have a climate plan is actually the death knell for the Canadian economy. People will not want to buy the stuff we make in Canada if we are not making it in a green way. People will not want to visit our country if they do not see that we are energetically embracing the green transition. They'll go to places that are embracing that. So I really believe very, very strongly that our green policy is an economic growth policy.
Okay, excellent. Although I did.
Thanks. I rarely get that at press conferences. You guys are nice.
I did. It's Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, thank you.
I did want to say one more thing, though. I don't need you to retread the ground you've gone over, because you've answered this question from the other side. But you
Okay.
are facing a lot of pushback in this region, in particular from local politicians, local provincial governments, that say this, they're not opposed to it, but it's coming too soon, too fast. They need more time to adapt. What do you say to that?
You know what? I say I do really understand. I really understand the challenges. And I do believe that the challenges are different in small towns, in places with less public transit, than they are in big cities. I right now am an MP for downtown Toronto. A fact that still shocks my dad is I don't actually own a car because I live in downtown Toronto. I'm 300 meters from the nearest subway. I walk, I take the subway, I make my kids walk and ride their bikes and take the subway. It's actually healthier for our family. I can live that way. But I grew up in a small town in northern Alberta, and I got my driver's license the day I turned 16, and I met the other kids who were born the same day. It's a true story, and you guys know it, right? And I understand that there are communities on PEI and across Atlantic Canada where you need to drive. So I understand that, our policies need to respect that, and I really believe they do. I really believe that as people start receiving the climate incentive payments, climate action incentive payments, people will recognize that they're getting money back in their bank accounts, in their pockets. We designed our policy that way so that it wouldn't actually affect it wouldn't affect the bottom line of Canadians. 8 out of 10 Canadians get back more than the price on pollution costs them. So that's, and I recognize that until you sort of see the check in your bank account, that can be hard to really feel. And the other thing I do want to say is I recognize that now is a challenging time. And, you know, hearing from people here at United Way, we heard a lot about the challenges the most vulnerable people are facing on PEI. It's been a tough few years. And what I really want to say to Canadians and to people on PEI is, we get that. We are here to support you with things like the grocery rebate paid out on July 5th. We're here to support the most vulnerable workers with the Canada Workers Benefit. We have built up significantly the social supports available in Canada for children, for families with young children, for seniors. That's meaningful, and that's there permanently. And we also are investing in our economy, and our economy is delivering. You know, the fact that we have 1 million more jobs than we had before COVID, I know people on PEI recognize that. I know that they see that today this is a place where you can get a job, and that has not always been the case in the history of people on PEI. I think that's huge. I think that's transformative in people's lives. And inflation in June is now down to 2.8%. Really significant. That is back to within the Bank of Canada's target range. So I really believe our economy is getting past the real trauma of COVID and the COVID recession. Trauma is traumatic. It's been tough for people, but we're getting past it. And, you know, people should know that the government is here to support them as, you know, we get through this last final stage. Thank you.